Good afternoon, YouTube. Today, going to be giving you a little bike vlog, a little tour of a few places around Montreal. This isn't going to be a tourist guide exactly, but I am going to point out a few places that I think will be interesting for tourists to know about. But in general, at least for the beginning of this ride, we're going to be moving away from the touristy area and into a more local part of Montreal, heading towards the east part of the city to a place called Olympic Stadium, which will be probably familiar to older viewers of this channel, specifically people who know the city of Montreal, because Montreal had the Olympics back in the 1970s, and this giant building was built for that purpose. I'll tell you more about that a bit later as we approach Olympic Stadium. For now, I'm just cruising through the neighborhood of Rosemont. And this is kind of the new side of Rosemont. As you can see, this area was one of the last big undeveloped parts of the center of Montreal, and they're now developing it very quickly. Perhaps it doesn't have the charm of a lot of the city, but they have kept some green space. This is still a walkable neighborhood, so I don't think it's that bad. And there is something interesting about these buildings. Maybe they're not for everyone, but I mean, this one in particular has a really funky kind of space age style to it. You can drop a comment and let me know if that's your taste or not. But something I think is really cool is actually right up ahead. And this is, I don't know the history of this area, but it was clearly some old factories or like something that has been repurposed. Oh wow, look at this. Someone spray painted Free Gaza and some other stuff on that door. Well, anyway, we're gonna avoid getting too political and continue focusing on Montreal today. Oh, this is cool. We have a little artisanal market. You got some things that are kind of like farmers markets, some food, but also some local design companies, hot sauces, pizza on the end. Okay, wow, we're off to a interesting start already. But yeah, this is what I was referencing earlier, the area that clearly was some kind of historic building. And now it's just been repurposed, like the SAQ is a liquor store. But here you can really see what I'm talking about. Look at this. This is what I think most Montrealers think of their city as. something that tourists who visit for a couple of days might miss. But when you get away from the touristy part of the city, you see more and more just like cool old buildings being used in interesting ways. Very Montreal. And I mean, it almost looks like an old Roman aqueduct, you know, like obviously I know the Romans didn't have red brick buildings, but yeah, I don't know. I love this area. Visually speaking, I think it's really cool. Now, as I pass by a giant Provigo grocery store, and I continue our bike ride, we're going to find our way towards a nice bike path to take towards Olympic Stadium. I also want to point out, I'm going to do something slightly illegal. Don't judge me, YouTube, okay? That's the rules today. You get a nice, fun video cruising around Montreal. Just don't say anything as I zoom by stop signs like this, because sometimes in Montreal, when you're on a bike, you gotta do what you gotta do. But all I was gonna say is, for those who don't know, I recently published an hour-long, watch out for this, I recently published an hour-long bike video where I was silent. It was just the sounds of nature and the sounds of the city. That one actually went to a lot of touristy areas. Well, touristy and local. I mean, it went everywhere. It was I probably covered 30 to 40 kilometers on that ride. So I got to see a lot. It was a lot of fun. And if there's interest in more videos like that, I will make more videos like that. I could do more like this too, where I'm talking, but the thing is, you know, when I'm talking and biking, it is a bit less relaxing for me because I need to think about the narration, and also, of course, I might get weird looks from people around me as I talk to myself, but the point is, when I'm just filming silently, I can put on a podcast or something, just kind of relax and make a nice calm video. So that's pretty fun for me sometimes. But I understand why some people would be like, okay, this is boring, I'm not going to watch an hour of this, you know? And just above that cyclist, you can see Olympic Stadium. That giant tilting tower. One of the iconic structures in Montreal, but also very controversial for reasons I'll soon get into. Now you can see, after I showed you the new Rosemont, this is very much well, actually we might have left the neighborhood of Rosemont by now, but these red brick buildings are much more the classic Montreal architecture, the old school buildings, you know. Lots of those around this city. Beautiful day, by the way, as you can probably see. Blue skies today, about 23 degrees Celsius. And as we get closer and closer, you're going to see just how massive this tower is. Oh! There are a few cranes working on the stadium. What are they doing? Wait, was there something about they're fixing the roof? See, this is the problem with doing a narrated video. You're expected to know what you're talking about. But the controversial thing about this stadium, what I do know, is it needs serious repairs to be done. And the estimate to repair it is something like not only expensive, but insanely expensive. I'm talking like $4 billion is what they're saying. Which, just for context, like you could build a new stadium for less than that. That's like the cost of the new terminals, the massive new expansions for the Montreal airport, you know, like things that will make a huge difference for the city are the same cost or cheaper than repairing this giant old structure from the 1970s. And then what I was hearing is if they tried to demolish it, it'll be even more expensive because they need to clean out asbestos or something. I don't know, like they need to do it in some really safe way, or I don't even understand the reasoning how it could possibly be more expensive to destroy it. But that's what I was reading. So basically it's a multiple billion-dollar money sore that no one wants to deal with, and so it's not really being used for anything right now, except for the skateboarders enjoying the skate park below it, which I gotta admit is a pretty epic spot for a skate park. Anyway, let's continue. But yeah, if anyone has more context about Olympic Stadium, let me know. Be curious if any Montrealers can tell me what the city's planning to do with it, or what they would like the city to do with it. One of the tallest leaning towers in the world, even taller than the Leaning Tower in Pisa. But for now, our bike ride continues. This is Parc Maisonneuve. Another one of the nice, enormous parks we have in this city. We're currently going 22 kilometers per hour. My e-bike I've had for just over a year now. Some of you will remember I made a video, what was it called? Montreal Travel Guide, 10 Things to Do in Montreal, something like that. And this company, GoTrax, who makes us e-bike, they sent me an e-bike to talk about in a video. And I basically cruised around visiting different places in Montreal on my e-bike, and I, you know, mentioned them as a sponsor, and like I did it just because I thought I'd never had an e-bike before. I was like, this might be cool. I was like, I don't know, if I don't actually like it, I'll just sell it or whatever, you know. But then I fell in love with this e-bike. It's now like one of my favorite possessions. So I even got a really nice bike lock for it and everything, and yeah, I love this e-bike. It's totally changed how I experience the city. So yeah, thanks again to GoTrax. I'll put a link down below if anyone's curious what bike I have. Yeah, I would love to get if I can ever work with GoTrax again, I'd love to get a folding e-bike, a slightly lighter folding e-bike that is easier to store at home, because the problem is I don't really trust leaving my e-bike on the streets outside, and it does take a lot of space in my apartment. So Like everything in life, there's pros and cons, but in general, I'm enjoying the bike. I'm also enjoying this bike ride. This is beautiful. Fresh air. Let's go a bit faster once we pass this person. It's also been insanely hot in Montreal this summer, so it's nice to have a day that is just reasonable, just like a pleasant summer day, instead of a oh my skin is burning every time I step outside type day. Yeah, I should come to this park more often. This is nice. Maybe I'll see where this goes. I have no idea where we're going right now. Let's discover some new things together, YouTube. Here we go. The other thing about a bike vlog like this is I wonder, should I edit out the long silent pauses, or should I keep them in? Do people enjoy just seeing nature flowing by and then occasionally hearing me talk?